Now, the United States swears that the aid convoy that was recently illegally sent to the country was intended to help the people of Venezuela. Yet, the rest of the world seems to know a little bit better, knowing that this is a Trojan horse. Now, some more information has come out about the contents of that convoy. Now, according to the Venezuelan ambassador to the UN, the convoy consisted of spoiled food and expired medication. The aid intended for Venezuela came with strings attached that the Bolivarian Republic was not interested in. If that wasn't bad enough, the supplies that were sent were unfit for human consumption. The food was reported as spoiled, and medication expired. What kind of aid convoy sends such items? Now, there's even more to these supplies. Now, the foreign minister of Venezuela, Jorge Ariza, said that the trucks were also carrying nails and wire, which he showed with a picture at the UN Security Council meeting, and he questioned who was this aid intended for, and he also said this, "And let me tell you, when the trucks were inspected, it turned out there was not just food and medicine in the trucks, but there were equipment for barricades. There were nails, wire, and so on and so forth." And this is what is used by the opposition in Venezuela. Even more comments came from Venezuela's ambassador to Russia, Carlos Rafael Faria Tortosa. The U.S. sends products that no one has tested. From our sources, we know that their boxes have contained spoiled food, expired medications, and drugs unsuitable for use. They have not been tested by a single one of the organizations that conducts these kinds of checks around the world. Now, the move was suggested by and organized by Elliot Abrams. As you recall, he was the person who in the 1980s was involved in shipping weapons into Nicaragua under the guise of humanitarian aid, and yet they get so angry when Venezuela accuses them of sending weapons and other materials under the guise of foreign aid, calling it the Trojan horse, which is what everybody is calling it right now. Now, despite all this, the government has said that it is still willing to sit down and talk to the opposition, including the illegitimate leader, Juan Guaido. We are waiting to see the members of the Venezuelan opposition, Mr. Guaido, whoever else, they will decide who will sit down with the constitutional government of Venezuela, and then we can build our own solution without interference from anyone, much less the United States. And now, why would you even sit down with these people at all? Guaido is very clearly a puppet of the United States, a man who claims to be the legitimate leader of the country, yet he has now left that country. He has supported Elliot Abrams, the guy who sent in firearms disguised as aid into Nicaragua, who is, for all intents and purposes, a war criminal. The United States has done nothing but try to destroy Venezuela for the past 20 years. Yet they seem to be still willing to sit down and talk with the opposition, which are almost literally puppets of a hostile foreign power. And this raises a lot of questions in my mind as to why they would even be doing this. Why would they even talk with the opposition in this situation? It's very clear that they're hostile. They're trying to destroy the country, all for the benefit of U.S. imperialism. But this does show a little bit more about the real nature of humanitarian aid when it's coming from the United States and what it really means. Now, keep in mind that the Office of the Red Cross inside of Colombia has denounced volunteers to that convoy who were wearing Red Cross uniforms but weren't members of the organization, which means Trojan horse is a very good word to use in this situation. So, once and for all, this aid convoy must be adamantly denounced as something that is absolutely fake, and these facts should be brought before the mainstream media as they just completely ignore them and pretend as though they don't exist. But then again, we do know that the mainstream media are nothing more than servants of U.S. imperialism.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.